Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. We're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentine. Okay, so live calm with cancer. I know it doesn't sound like something that's possible, but well, there was a book that was written by a husband and wife duo after they experienced their own stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and so they created this self-help journal full of advice and tips on how to live calmly with cancer using meditation and mindfulness. And joining us now to share more, we welcome the co-founders of Loving Meditations and authors of Living Calmly with Cancer, Tamara, Tamara Green and David Dachinger. I have to let everybody know what the joke is. It's like Tamara.
Tomatoes, tomatoes.
Yeah, tomatoes, but Tamara, the West Coast version.
West Coast, East Coast.
West Coast, East Coast, got it, right? So, but either way, it's acceptable, but it's Tamara.
I go by anything, yes.
It is great to be here.
It's so good to have you both back. And I really, really applaud you in just bringing your personal life into the forefront at the with the intent of assisting other people get through it. I mean, when you hear Live Calm with Cancer, it's like, how do you do that? I mean, really, how do you do that?
Yeah. For me, I was the caregiver. David had stage 4 cancer, and he's doing great now, yay. For me, it was being present, being, in each and every moment, being present. Was I all the time? Hell no, I was not. But I would come back to my mindfulness, go into my mindfulness toolbox and pull out some, little tips that we've been doing all along and become present again. And that makes all the difference.
I know, and I love how you keep emphasizing the word present, because I get what you mean about being present, because we can kind of disappear from our own selves based on circumstances, right? So I really need to, address you, David, because it's just really, it's just kind of like being taken over. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's like, oh, who is this? I'm being invaded. And so what do you do with that?
Well, many things happen really quickly. So I was the poster child for good health and working out and eating well. And so I had a lifetime, decades of this track record, and all of a sudden the doctor walks in and says, you have stage 4 cancer. Well, there's no manual to prepare for that. And I could choose to look at it like a defeat, like my winning streak had been snapped. So at that moment, it's like you're inundated with information, you're in shock because of the diagnosis and what it means. Your life is basically put on hold. And so I was not present at that moment. Thankfully, Tamara was, and to have a caregiver there who can be open into receiving all this important medical information and to kind of help collect it and keep you on track with your appointments and what the routine's going to be, that's huge.
So how long ago was that?
That was in the fall of 2013.
So that was in the fall of 2013. And I'm asking you this because, right, obviously this is what inspired this book. It's like you have to make a choice. You're either going to choose to let it take you, or you're going to learn how to deal with the circumstances.
Right. Choice is the key word right there. I'm going to get busy living or get busy dying.
Right.
And so that was the choice that I had to make at that point. What would it take to find the gift in it? What would it take to get through this epic medical journey with more ease? And so that's also when I started looking back into my mindful toolbox and my meditation practice and seeing how that could come into play to make this a little smoother, a little easier, and more calm.
So we're really here to talk about the book because we had you on before discussing the Loving Meditation, but let's just give everybody a little insight as to what Loving Meditation provides and who you provide it for.
So Loving Meditations, after we went through our experience and we'd been creating mindfulness and meditation programs for my psychotherapy clan for about 7 years. But after our experience with cancer, we decided to create programs specifically for cancer patients, caregivers, and survivors in an app, a delivery system with an app.
And so now you have the app that people can access via their phone, any phone, right?
Any device.
And now you any electronic device, right? Because there's iPads as well. And so now you've written this book. Which how long did it take you guys to write together? I love that you do it together too. I have to say,
It was so much fun.
I bet. I mean, you have a really wonderful, inspiring partnership.
We do.
It's an interesting journey to do these things as a couple after having gone through the cancer experience as a couple. So it probably took us 6 months to write the book. You know, the writing part is one phase, but there's a lot more that goes on after you write the book that we were learning as we went. There's a lot of editing, formatting, the artwork, and then getting it up and publishing it. So it's probably a 9-month process altogether.
So the book serves anyone. It serves anyone who's a caretaker or caregiver, I should say, or somebody who's been diagnosed, or maybe even somebody that hasn't, right? Because you guys do loving meditation, and then for me, I come from the space of like prevention, and it starts there. It starts from that consciousness, and it starts from just meditating.
Right. Or just even being mindful. And we want people to know that meditation is not this thing where you have to just, sit there and be quiet for hours at time. No, no, no. You can do a hobby and be mindful. You could be doing the dishes and be mindful. Just be so completely focused on what it feels like when your hand's in the water, or, when you're turning off the faucet. That is what we mean by mindful. And meditation is just maybe a longer form of being mindful, right? You're just doing it for a little bit longer. But it's not as hard as people think.
No, I get it. And the word present is everything. Present.
Absolutely.
Mindful, present. They're kind of two in the same. And we take that for granted when we're moving like this.
Oh, yeah.
We're not present.
Right, and our brains are capable of doing like 60,000 thoughts a day. Somebody counted that somehow. But really, how many of those thoughts are helping us? So when we can actually quiet the thoughts and just kind of be more in the moment, more present, less in the monkey thinking mind, amazing things can come through us, and we can all of a sudden become more aware and able to be creative and make good choices and creative choices in that moment.
And so now the book serves in kind of like as a partner to the app. So before we go, let's talk about that. Like, somebody gets the app. How does the book serve the app better than just having the app?
Right. So in each chapter, David talks from the patient perspective. I share from the caregiver perspective. And throughout, we have mindfulness tips throughout the book. And then also, we have meditations at the end of each chapter, and those are in our app. So it's easy to you could read it in the book, but you can also listen to David's gorgeous music and my guided voice on the app as well.
Right. So even it's not just for caregivers is the point. It's like, if anything, it's really more helpful to the person who's seeking their inner self to kind of overcome whatever obstacles that life has presented.
Yes, and although we have some cancer-specific meditations, many of them could be applied to any life event that's challenging, like relationship, career, health, other medical problems. So it's pretty universal that our mindful tools will help you through. We've had great success stories of people overcoming, even attracting more business and more money into their lives.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing it
Our
with our
pleasure.
viewers, David.
Thank
Tamara.
you for having us back, Rhina.
Absolutely. And you guys, for more on Live Calm with Cancer, you can visit livecalmwithcancer.com. That's for the book. All right, we're taking a quick break, but coming up, we'll learn about the perspective behind a new exhibit at El Barrio's Art Space, PS 109. Don't go anywhere.